My wife has been manipulated by her abusive parents and is now not letting me be in the delivery room with her because they have convinced her that I'm dangerous. So I exposed their lies so my wife could see the truth. My wife and I's relationship has been very strong and full of love, but there is one huge problem in it, which is her parents. Her parents are controlling, toxic and manipulative, yet they have spun everything in a way which makes my wife blind to their lies. Ever since my wife was a little girl, she had a strict curfew, had physical punishments, was not allowed to date anyone, hang out with her friends on any day of the week except for Saturdays, and wasn't even allowed to own a phone of any kind until she turned 18. Her parents did this to protect her according to them. They raised her with the mindset of, she's just a girl and the world is dangerous for her. They used to tell my wife that the world was violent towards women, making my wife believe that she is nothing more than a helpless girl in a world of wolves. She always cooked for them and cleaned for them too. She was like a servant of sorts, believing that their protection was the reason she was okay and healthy and she owed them permanent care. She went to a small community college, which is where we met, and she was very timid and shy at first. It took a lot for her to open up and to get her out of the shell, and when she did open up it was very clear that the damage that was done by her parents had a very long-lasting impact. We often worked on assignments together and she was much smarter than me, but she was always hesitant to give her input or try to overrule something because in her mind she was just a girl. I grew to like her very quickly, and she told me she felt a sense of freedom around me. Together, we were able to let her explore herself and truly grow into the amazing free spirit that she is today. Over the course of her college life she became so much more extroverted and confident, even going as far as presenting a project in a lecture hall of almost 100 people. I was extremely proud of her. It also wasn't until after college that she introduced me to her parents. She said that they had already made their mind up on not liking me ever since they found out about me. She said that according to them I am turning their pure daughter into a ratchet modern-day feminist. When I did meet them, it wasn't pleasant at all. I was given the cold shoulder and was even pulled aside by the father where he asked me to leave his daughter alone so she can focus on being a good girl. That made me want to get sick, to be honest. Anyway, the meeting didn't end in some crazy argument, but we left off on a sour note. The next time I saw them was at my wife and I's wedding, where they left in the middle of the vows being said. My wife said they were hoping desperately that she would come to her senses last minute and back out during the vows. That never happened, of course, and my wife and I's relationship was super strong for the next year. My wife got pregnant, however, and when she informed her parents things started to go south. A couple months into pregnancy my wife came to me and asked me what I thought of the man being in the delivery room, and I said I think it's a good father's duty. My wife, seemingly out of nowhere, said she's not sure she thinks it's a good idea for a man to be present. She went on to say that she reached out to her mother for advice on how to go through pregnancy, and her mother told her that one of the most important things is not having a man in the delivery room because men are known to pass out, act squeamish, walk out, be entitled and assault their wives throughout the labor process. I told my girlfriend that I think this is outrageous and it's very obvious what her parents are trying to do, which is to separate us so they can control her again. My wife said she'll give it some thought. It was all a little bit confusing to me as my wife had been aware of her parents' attempts to control her for a while now, and I spent a long time thinking about what I was going to do if her parents are successful in manipulating her. Anyway, I didn't hear anything else about the topic for months until she was about 6 months pregnant, when she came to me with some article about why men should not be allowed in the delivery room. She said that she did some research on the subject and her parents have provided her with excellent and credible resources about the subject. We got into an argument about it where my wife stated that she was putting her foot down and she only wants her mother at the delivery room, and not me. That felt like a dagger being put through my heart. I told her this was completely not fair and her mother was never involved in any part of the pregnancy and I am literally the father. But my wife's stance on the issue wouldn't budge, and we had a big blowout which resulted in me sleeping in the guest room for a few days. A few days later, however, I did some thinking and read through the article my wife showed me over and over to see what it had to say. It was the dumbest article ever, quoting seemingly fake statistics about how many men attempt to rope their wives during labor and nonsense like that. I did some research online about the page who posted the article, and by contacting my good friend who is an expert in it, I was able to track down that the supposed headquarters of the website came from my mother-in-law's address. I realized what this meant, and it was that my mother-in-law had made a fake website and published a fake article online about men in the delivery room just to manipulate my wife. When my wife came home after having lunch the next day I shared with her the information I had found. I expected a drastic reaction from her, but instead she broke down into my arms crying about how sorry she was for falling for her parents' ploys. This happened yesterday and my mother and father-in-law are still not aware that my wife and I have discovered what they did. Telling them is something I'm looking forward to so I can rip them a new one.